stories coming up on KTN Prime on this Friday.
Because mimi niko na hakika akienda huko haki hatarudi.
Central Kenya members of parliament to petition ICC to slow down UHURU case.
TJRC now lines up big names to testify before it.
Police arrest a city blogger over threats to ICC suspects.
Gor Mahia banned from playing at Nyayo and Kasarani Stadium. Well, indeed, once again, a very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us on KTN Prime on this 23rd of March 2012. We begin with news that members of parliament and leaders from the Mount Kenya region have resolved to petition the International Criminal Court to postpone cases facing 4 Kenyans until after the next general elections. The leaders claim the cases are politically motivated and meant to block Uhuru Kenyatta from contesting the presidency.
Meeting under GEMA leadership, delegates present resolved to collect 2 million signatures from the Kikuyu, Embu and Meru communities to push for postponement of the Hague trials. And as Patrick Amimo reports, the meeting endorsed Uhuru Kenyatta as the region's presidential candidate before supporters of former Mungiki leader Maina Njenga disrupted the gathering.
This meeting, organized by the GEMA Cultural Association, brought together members of parliament, church leaders, women and youth leaders from the Kikuyu, Embu and Meru communities. Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta led a team of lawmakers from the region to attend the meeting. The purpose was to consolidate unity, identify one political party to support and express solidarity with 2 members of the community, Uhuru Kenyatta and Francis Mudhaura, whom the International Criminal Court once tried at The Hague together with 2 other Kenyan suspects.
We shall equally treat the ICC case as political affront to our sovereignty. The trial should not be conducted in such a rush, in such a manner.
Uhuru Kenyatta said he does not fear facing trial on crimes against humanity at The Hague.
Mimi siogopi kwenda kukiri shitaka ambazo nimepatiwa. Na wale ambao wanafikiria wananyanyasa wengine kwa sababu ya kutumia haya ma-NGOs na wengine kwenda kutafuta mambo ya upuzi kuwekelea wengine, Mwenyezi Mungu halali, ukweli utajitokeza.
The Hague trials are expected to begin in May. Transport Minister Amos Kimunya appealed to the GEMA community to fundraise for legal fees. The meeting also resolved to collect 2 million signatures and petition the UN and ICC to postpone trials until after the election.
There's an intention to make sure that his name does not appear in the ballots. Lakini usifungie mwingine ati ndio wewe upate njia yako nyembamba ya kupitia. Na niye deke haro inekeu na diragoa nini.
Hata ukiwa na hatia, hata ikiwa uko Hague, tutafanya nini? Tutafanya nini?
Though not mentioning the Prime Minister by name, Uhuru Kenyatta was clear the G7 alliance will scatter Raila's dream for State House.
Sio vita na jamii, mimi vita yangu ni vita na mtu mmoja.
But even before the meeting came to a close, it was disrupted by a group of youth who wanted to be addressed by Maina Njenga. But the leaders refused. This came immediately after Uhuru Kenyatta left the meeting to consult with his lawyers over the ICC case. As conveners of the meeting consulted over the turn of events, Maina Njenga approached the dais, maybe thinking he would get opportunity to speak to the masses, but it was not to be. With that, delegates were left confused. After half an hour and Maina Njenga gone, they hastily read resolutions, but lawmakers who had occupied these seats had vanished in the melee. Patrick Amimo, KTN Prime.
Well, there you have it. That's the big announcement that GEMA leaders had promised us today. And that story leads us to the big question tonight. And we're asking you, would you be one of the people to sign the GEMA petition that's basically seeking to slow down the ICC cases? Would you be one of those people who will sign the petition seeking to slow down the ICC cases? Please send us your comments beginning with a yes or no answer to our SMS number 8040. We'll sample, as always, some of the comments at the end of this live newscast. But another big story today is that a prominent blogger has been arrested. I hand you over to Joy Dorin-Bira with more.
Freelance journalist and blogger Dennis Itumbi has been arrested in connection with the hacking of the ICC website. Attorney General Githu Muigai last week directed the police to investigate claims by the ICC prosecutor Luis Moreno Campo that email accounts of witnesses in the Kenyan cases had been hacked. The blogger spent last night at Muthaiga Police Station and most of today at the Criminal Investigations Department headquarters before the police went to his house to conduct a search.
From the onset, the CID officers who arrested him made it clear that they were probing sensitive ICC-related issues. CID Director Ndegwa Muhoro says the law enforcement body is investigating Dennis Itumbi over the hacking of the ICC website.
What they said is that the case is beyond them. There's a bigger picture to it. So they were just given the orders to get the guy. But they mentioned that ICC thing.
The investigating officers whisked Itumbi away to the CID headquarters for a brief interrogation session, followed by a trip to his house in Thindegwa, Kiambu, where they confiscated his laptop. Itumbi also reveals that he was questioned about the now infamous British dossier tabled in Parliament by Yatta MP Charles Kilonzo and comments allegedly attributed to IEBC commissioners over intimidation regarding their choice of a March 2013 election date.
Documents that they say I have from the ICC, and they also say that there are some things that I've uploaded from KTN clip. So all that is all what they're looking for. KTN clip? The KTN clip on the commissioners saying they're being threatened by someone. Yeah, but I'm just waiting for my belt. I can't wait. They're taking me. They said they have refused to grant me bond, so I may be sleeping in Muthaiga cells until Monday. But I've been told to cooperate, and I'm going to do. What an part a belt, boss.
Itumbi, who didn't have access to his lawyer throughout the entire episode, was remanded in custody at Kilelesho Police Station and will be arraigned in court on Monday to answer to charges of breaching the Communications Act and hacking the ICC website. This comes after the AG recently warned that anyone interfering in the ICC cases will face the full force of the law. Reporting for KTN Prime, I am Fredo Mulo.
Let's go to a developing story that surprised many, and Gor Mahia Football Club will suffer severe consequences of its unruly supporters in the coming weeks as a result of their chaotic behavior last week in a march against AFC Leopards. The team has now been banned from using the country's two premier sporting facilities, that's the Nyayo National Stadium and Kasarani International Stadium, for the remainder of this season. The stadium management also warned that similar action will be taken on similar offenders, but the club now claims it's a victim of political witch hunt.
These were the scenes last Sunday when two of the fastest Kenyan clubs, Gor Mahia and AFC Leopards, played to a barren draw at the Nyayo National Stadium. A section of Gor Mahia fans felt aggrieved by the proceedings and engaged AFC Leopards fans as well as innocent civilians in running battles. Sports Stadium Management Board has now moved in to clip the club's unruly behavior as well as surcharging the club for the damages accrued.
We are going to ban Gor Mahia for the whole season from using, our facilities.
The Sports Stadium Management Board has said that it will only allow the club into its facilities if only they can contain their funds, saying their mandate is not to find solutions for Gor Mahia's persistent fund trouble.
They have the means and resources to ensure that when they play, it is a football match, it's not a war zone.
In effect, this will automatically lock Gor Mahia out of the 30,000 capacity Nyayo National Stadium, already under FIFA watch for fan trouble, as well as a Moi Sports Center Kasarani that is set for reopening in the coming months. And in a strange twist of turn, Gor Mahia club management is not blaming its unruly fans for their current tribulations.
Politicians are also using this opportunity to make Gor look bad.
The club feels the decision was hurriedly done and most of their fans who throng match venues have been victims by what they term as high-handedness by the Sports Stadium Management Board.
Every stakeholder has failed to live up
up to their expectations.
SSMB is going to take every precaution to ensure that missile stones is removed from vicinity of our stadiums.
Gor Mahia's only reprieve now are facilities that are owned by local authorities across the country. Kenya Premier League has now been handed another venue nightmare, and clubs must now either change venues to accommodate Gor Mahia or have Gor Mahia play without its funds. Pay TV channel SuperSport has already suspended its coverage for the team till further notice, and reports indicate that the Football Federation of Kenya may impose further sanctions on Gor Mahia.
Well, earlier on, we'd promised you that KTN's Ann Kiguta will be joining us to take a look at some of those top politicians who will be questioned by the TJRC. I'll hand you over to Ann for the full details.
Thanks, James. And there are politicians and others. The Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission is likely to hear evidence from top politicians, as we've just heard, and security personnel during hearings scheduled for next week. Sources say big names have already been summoned. This is the first time the TJRC has moved to summon leading politicians and security officials to appear before it. Now, sources say the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission intends to question top government officials, including a cabinet minister and other senior civil servants, over various atrocities. The commission, which continues to suffer from internal wrangles with Chair Ambassador Bethwell Kiplagat, appears to be eyeing the top politicians to appear before their public hearings. Let's take a look at those who could be lined up for questioning. And topping that list there is Nicholas B. Watt. He's a former powerful cabinet minister who is likely to be asked to shed light on what he knows of the deaths of Dr. Robert Ouko, which remains shrouded in mystery. They also want to hear from him on the illegal acquisition of land in Kitale. Former Police Commissioner now, Major General Hussein Ali, is also wanted for questioning. He recently escaped the ICC process into post-election violence, with the judges ruling that his case would not proceed to trial. He is likely to appear before the TJRC. Sources say Ali may be required to shed light on the violence that rocked Kenya after the disputed 2007 election result. They also want to hear his testimony on the extrajudicial killings of the alleged Mungiki suspects between 2005 and 2006. Also likely to appear before TJRC to shed light into post-election violence is former Naivasha MP Jane Kihara and former Nyanza police boss Grace Kaindi. She is expected to shed light into the killings in Kisumu during the post-election violence period. Now, according to our sources, Cabinet Minister William Olentimama is also likely to appear before the Commission to give details on various issues, including illegal land acquisition, incitement in the 1992-1993 tribal clashes in Narok, and killings in Enosupukia. Colonel Stephen K. Boyo is also likely to appear before the Commission in connection with Okoa Maisha's operation that took place in the Mount Elgon region. That was supposed to flush out suspected members of the Sabaot Lands Defense Forces. It was a bloody campaign in which it is alleged that women and girls were raped by KDF forces. Current Police Commissioner Matthew Itere could also be summoned by the Commission over a wide array of human rights violations that were committed by police officers. Evan Gisheru, now the former Chief Justice, is also wanted by TJRC to give evidence over the 1982 coup attempt. Also summoned over the same matter are sitting Justices Emmanuel Okubasu and Justice Bosire of the Court of Appeal. And then finally, Dorothy Angote, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Lands, and Zablon Mabea, the Commissioner of Lands, have also both been summoned, we understand, over a wide array of lands issues. Before I leave you, let me bring you other news that's making headlines. Kenya has started shipping its toxic waste abroad for destruction. Today, 30 metric tons of obsolete pesticides were transported to Mombasa port, from where they will then be shipped to the United Kingdom for destruction. The disposal of these dangerous chemicals is set to curb risks posed to the environment and human beings. KTN Sophia Wanuna has the details.
Toxic chemicals pose very serious threats to people and the environment. They can cause cancerous side effects, miscarriages and even death when consumed. In some cases, people innocently dispose of these toxic substances in water sources, which lead to poisoning. In 2008, a cargo of chemical substances on its way from the port of Mombasa to a mining company in western Uganda was dumped at Kipevu slum. Hundreds of people near the port became ill. It was later reported that 2 women had miscarriages and complained of breathing difficulties, stomach upsets as well as chest pains. Still in 2008, the Ministry of Agriculture and CropLife International initiated a campaign to locate and collect stockpiles of toxic agricultural and industrial waste and destroy them. So far, 200 tons of obsolete pesticides have been identified from various parts of the country. 130 tons have already been collected, leaving just 70 tons yet to be collected. These obsolete pesticides pose a serious threat to people and the environment.
If these chemicals degrade where they are, they will end up in the water systems. They will be washed into the rivers. The Mwananchi is going to take them without their knowledge. We are removing poisons away from the Mwananchi. That is the whole objective. Number 2, we also want to assure the world that Kenya, when our produce is going out in the market, nobody should question the integrity of the Kenyan produce.
The safe disposal of obsolete pesticides also ensures they do not land in unauthorized hands for illegal use that would endanger the environment or food quality. Today, 30 tons of obsolete pesticides were transported to Mombasa, from where they will be shipped to the UK to be destroyed. According to the project manager, Professor Vase Mwaja, Kenya is not accredited to conduct the incineration of such toxic chemicals.
Today, we are marking the movement of the first 30 tons of the 200 tons we envisage to have in the country. We have so far collected and safeguarded about 130 tons. We still have 70 more to collect before the end of June.
In the meantime, farmers, distributors, stockists and ranchers are being encouraged to surrender any obsolete stocks to the Clean Farms Kenya Safeguarding Initiative to help rid Kenya of toxic waste. Sophia Wanuna, KTN Prime.
And that's it from me. I'm Anki Guta. Back to James and Joy with more news.
Thanks a lot, Anne, for that educative information. Now moving on to more national news. 3 people have died and property worth thousands of shillings destroyed during an early morning fire in Nairobi's MATHARE area. The dead included 2 children.
Now, this particular fire is said to have started at 1 a.m. this morning and continued until dawn, and firefighters managed to control the situation.
Aftermath of a gruesome fire that took the lives of 2 children and a man here in MATHARE slums.
Hii moto imeanza kitu saa 7 na dakika 8 hivi. Nilipokuwa nalala nasikia makelele nje hapo kwangu. Naambiwa moto ni mingi sana nje. Kutoka hivi nilipata watu wamejaa hapa kando ya njia hapa. Moto nayo sasa hii moto ilikuwa inaelekea na hii side, lakini direction ya upepo ndio imeirudisha side hii ikachoma. Tambo gari ya fire ikuje kuokoa ilikuwa too late sana.
Though firefighters managed to control the inferno this morning, residents say it was too little too late given the fire started at 1 a.m. They claim that had firefighters been here on time, the story would have been different. Irate residents vented their dismay by blocking Juja Road to protest an apparent lax in response by Nairobi firefighters. The blockade caused a major traffic snarl-up. However, police eventually managed to contain the crowd and clear the roads. It is not clear what started the blaze. Another fire broke out in Kibera's line Saba as residents picked up the pieces of what was left. Authorities could not immediately establish the cause of the blaze. The fire destroyed property of unknown value this afternoon. Meanwhile, in Eldoret, property worth millions of shillings was lost after a fire engulfed a garage within the town's central business district.
We shall open a fire inquiry file tuone at least if there is somebody to blame, tutajua.
No casualties were reported. However, one man was attacked by a mob after he attempted to loot the burning garage. He is currently nursing his wounds at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. Catherine Omwando, KTN Prime.
Let's go to a developing story, and the African Union has suspended Mali's membership following Wednesday's coup. This new development may complicate evacuation of foreigners, including Kenya's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Moses Wetangula, from this West African country, given that it was the African Union that was leading negotiations to have foreigners airlifted out of Mali. However, President Mwai Kibaki has assured Kenyans that those stranded in Mali will be brought home safely.
President Mwai Kibaki says the government is doing all it can to evacuate Foreign Affairs Minister Moses Wetangula and 20 or so other Kenyans who are currently stranded in Mali after a coup that took place on the morning of Wednesday, the 21st of March. As tension reigns the gold and cotton producing West African country, many foreigners from around the world remain stranded at the capital. Kenya's Foreign Affairs Minister Wetangula has managed to group with other Kenyan nationals at a hotel in Bamako as they await clearance for evacuations. In his statement sent to newsrooms this afternoon, President Mwai Kibaki noted that the minister was abroad on official duty as the African Union Peace and Security Committee, in which Kenya is a member. The committee's mandate is to intervene in some of the troubled regions of the continent, including the Republic of Mali. Evacuations of any foreigner will mean negotiations with mutineers, and so far African Union Chairman and President of Equatorial Guinea has suspended Mali from the Union. This could complicate chances of an African Union-led evacuation. However, there is hope, as the Foreign Minister is said to be holding talks with the French ambassador to Mali, who is also stranded in the country. There is a possibility that the Kenyans could be evacuated by the French Marine. If not, the group could be moved to the French embassy for security, given the international laws guarding against attacks on the property of foreign missions. Currently, France is the only country with a foreign mission in Mali. The new developments are in tandem with the president's statement that says Kenya is working with other nations and multilateral agencies to ensure that Minister Wetangula and other Kenyans who wish to travel back are facilitated to do so. Catherine Omwando, KTN Prime.
The first president of Somalia's interim government, Abdullahi Yusuf Ahmed, has died aged 77, best known as an ally of Ethiopia and an opposer of the Islamist occupation of Somalia. Yusuf is believed to have died of complications from pneumonia while undergoing treatment in Dubai.
Former Somalia President Abdullahi Yusuf Ahmed has passed away in Dubai. The 77-year-old ex-warlord was chosen as president by a parliament set up in 2004 after years of peace talks in Kenya. However, he was unable to achieve his goals of bringing peace into Somalia, engulfed by anarchy since 1991, and he stepped down in 2008 after a power struggle. Since then, he has suffered chronic health problems and survived a 2006 suicide car bomb attack that killed his brother and 4 of his bodyguards in Khartoum. On January 4, 2008, he collapsed in Baidoa and was taken to Ethiopia for treatment. Born on December 15, 1934, in Galkayo, Somalia, Abdullahi was one of the founders of Somalia Salvation Democratic Front as well as Puntland State of Somalia, where he served as the autonomous region's first president. Mala Kivila, KTN Prime.
Well, indeed, a quick reminder of the big question, and this came after a big story tonight where we had those GEMA leaders meeting in Limuru, I believe, and they basically came out, the petition asking Kenyans to sign on to ask the ICC to delay the cases against the Kenyan suspects. And we're asking you, would you take part in that GEMA petition seeking to slow down the ICC cases? Please send us your comments beginning with a yes or no answer to our SMS number 8040. So the question is, would you sign that petition by the GEMA leaders basically asking the ICC to delay those cases? 8040 is the number through which you can send your SMSs.
You're watching KTN Prime, and just ahead, children in Mbita study under difficult conditions. Do stay with us.
Hi, I'm Cecilia Mwangi. Thanks to Nairobi Water Company, I can drink my water straight from the tap. You can also do the same. Have to go.
Thanks to the Nairobi Water Company, you can now drink water straight from the tap.
Natural beer, sugar-free, truly Kenyan.
Estate and Housing Finance Academy Awards will discover and celebrate excellence in real estate and housing finance in Africa. Join us for a networking and business-to-business cocktail on the 29th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. A full-day conference on 30th March featuring local and international speakers from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And later, an awards gala dinner from 7 p.m. to midnight. Register now to be a part of these great events. For inquiries, call Lydia on +254 707 922 445 or visit www.rfacademy.org. Nominations deadline for the awards has been extended to 17th March 2012. For sponsorship, participation and registration, visit www.rfacademy.org or email info@rfacademy.org for more details. RF Academy Awards 2012, discovering and celebrating excellence, 29th to 30th March 2012 in Nairobi, Kenya.
The Mombasa Polytechnic University College invites applications from suitably qualified candidates for master's, degree, diploma and certificate programs due to start on 7th May 2012. For application details, visit our website. The Mombasa Polytechnic University College, a center of excellence.
Escape to freedom. Here life is full of flavor, where you can enjoy good health and some of the best food found anywhere.
You belong to me, and I belong to you.
Welcome to Pwani Life.
2,500 kilometers, 5 pickups, 1 ton. Don't miss the Nissan Challenge every day from next Monday at 8:30 p.m. right here on KTN. The Nissan Challenge. Get ready for the ride of your life.
Natural beer, sugar-free, truly Kenyan.
Welcome back. You're watching KTN Prime. Remember, our big question tonight is on the GEMA meeting that took place today, basically asking Kenyans to sign that petition delaying the ICC cases. And we're asking you, do you support it? Send us your comments to 8040, beginning with a yes or no answer.
Now moving on to other stories, the first-term school holidays are set to start next month, with many students waiting to take a break. However, not all are sure and happy of that break given the circumstances they are forced to study in.
KTN's Joel Omoto visited one school in Kisumu rural constituency whose pupils are learning in fear of their lives given the dangerous state of their classrooms.
This is Rachilo Primary School in Kisumu rural constituency, a school that has not known development since its inception over 2 decades ago. This school is a disaster in waiting. Here, there's no difference between doors and windows, and they have been broken down in equal measure with cracks all over the walls. Already, 7 classrooms here have been condemned, but learning is still going on, putting the lives of over 200 pupils in serious danger.
If I take if I put them here, my job is also at risk, because it is bad to put the pupils in a condemned classroom. So, niko kwa hali mbaya kabisa.
It's an education that is meant to better the future of these youngsters, but with such buildings, they are not sure of the future. The school is already feeling the effects of this, since most parents have been turning their children elsewhere, leaving the school with very low enrollment. This is evident here in class 3, where only 5 pupils are enrolled, with other classes having less than 10 and the highest 27.
Nambari 5 ni namba mbaya sana. Kama wachache 30 sawa. Lakini 100 pia sio nzuri. Lakini 5 ni mbaya.
Wanafunzi wengine wanataka kusoma pale pasuri. Sasa kama wewe naangalia madarasa ni mbovu. Sasa nakimbia kwa shule zingine.
Last year, Achilo registered 22 candidates for the KCPE exams with only 6 attaining the average 250 marks and above out of the total 500, with the top student getting 321. However, teachers are still happy with the performance given the circumstances.
Tunabaki jioni tukiwafundisha, hata weekend tunafanya mtihani wakati kabla muhula iishe. Ama pia tunaomba makaratasi kutoka kwa shule zingine, ama saa zingine tunawanunulia makaratasi.
With a teaching staff of only 9, the school expects tough times this year, given they have registered 27 candidates, but they are ready to sacrifice for a better showing.
Hawa ni watoto wetu, labda hata wakisoma hivi wanaweza kuwa watu wa muhimu mbeleni.
In an effort to change the face of the school, a certain NGO is in the process of building one learning block for the school, which has already been converted into a nursery class, even though its construction is not over. They had also hoped for better tidings when the construction of another block through the CDF kitty began, but they are stalled due to lack of funds, dashing their hopes.
Mambo nafanyaje kwa ofisi mimi sijui. Yeah. Because when we go there, they say the allocation was not there this year. Wali sasa natafuta pesa kwa emergency.
The school's head teacher claims to have voiced their concerns to relevant ministry and area MP, but their pleas have turned to deaf ears. And as they await for a response, another disaster is looming. This is due to the rainy season expected very soon, their fear being the weak classrooms will be swept away. Joel Omoto, KTN in Kisumu County.
Well, thank you very much, Joel Omoto, for highlighting the plight of those students in Kisumu Rural. Moving on with KTN Prime, the International Commission of Jurists has launched the 10th Annual Judiciary Watch Report, which focuses on the enforcement of socio-economic and cultural rights through the courts, in line with the new constitution. Now, of particular interest, the 2 chapters dedicated to the right of housing and how Kenyan courts can deal with the cases relating to property. KTN's Fredo Mulo has more on this.
The ICJ undertook the task of seeking legal interpretations to controversial issues in the new constitution to provide a guide for judges presiding over complicated cases across the country.
The launch of the Judiciary Watch Report is now a well-established annual event at ICJ's Kenya calendar, which produces thought-provoking and cross-cutting publications on a wide range of legal issues, including many of direct relevance to legal practitioners.
On the sidelines of the launch, the Chief Justice declined to comment on the ongoing tussle between Justice Nicholas Ombija and Deputy Public Prosecutor Keriako Tobiko, simply saying that he hadn't received any formal complaints from both sides.
ICJ Kenya is helping the judiciary establish a reliable scholarly database that would close an existing gap on the scarce literature on the enforcement tools for socio-economic rights within East Africa. Legal practice of every justice system is positively influenced by a well-balanced and critical academic literature which focuses on historical, socio-economic, political and cultural concerns that anchor the administration of justice.
The project was funded by Germany's Konrad Adenauer Foundation, with Kenya's Godfrey Musila and Japheth Biegon acting as editors of the volume. For KTN Prime, I am Fredo Mulo.
In our local roundup, 24 health facilities in Nairobi were shut today and by the medical board, while 13 people were arrested for practicing medicine illegally. Elsewhere, police dispersed rowdy youth who surrounded the building belonging to Jesus is Alive Ministries and threatened to burn it down. This church is associated with Starehe Member Parliament Margaret Wanjiru. For these and more stories, here's our local wrap.
24 health facilities in Nairobi were today shut down by the medical board, which said that they were operating illegally. This happened after the board inspected a total of 67 facilities in Embakasi, Kibera, and pipeline areas of Nairobi. Officials of the medical board said that during the raid, 13 people who were masquerading as the medical practitioners were arrested and will be arraigned in court on Monday. A group of angry youth marched to the building hosting Starehe MP Margaret Wanjiru's Jesus is Alive Ministries, where they wanted to burn down the church for reasons that remain unclear. Police, however, dispersed the angry mob before they could execute their plan. It was pomp and color in Isiolo County as the world marked World Water Day. Assistant Minister for Water Ferdinand Waititu said that plans were underway to drill water boreholes in Kenya's dry regions since there was sufficient underground water to cater for the approximately 100,000 residents of Isiolo and its environs. Director of Water Services Peter Mangati added that the government was addressing water scarcity and 10 boreholes are already complete and operational in the county. Mala Kivila, KTN Prime.
Our eagles, they are as tall as Mount Kenya. The personal eagles of our leaders are as tall as Mount Kenya. We have 27 briefcase parties in the GEMA community. 27 briefcase parties. No one wants to leave his party to join the party of another one. You can only join a party if it is yours.
Olisid Classic nets are intelligently formulated with the insecticide incorporated into the fiber of the net, allowing it to repel and kill mosquitoes for up to 5 years.
It's all we have left. Things will be better. I promise.
This is my new business venture.
I'm a waitress now.
My baby. What happened to the rural girl?
She's still there somewhere.
You guys paid a lot of money for Wiz to be here, so you have to get the crowd warmed up. You saved me from myself.
Providing you and your loved ones a peaceful night's sleep. The world's first World Health Organization fully recommended mosquito nets.
From 29th March to 1st of April, come see how pros from all over the world do it at the 2012 Barclays Kenya Open at the esteemed MATHARE Golf Club. Tickets available at Karen Golf and Country Club, Kenya Golf Union, MATHARE Golf Club from 22nd March to 28th March and at the gate from the 29th of March. Don't miss one of the most prestigious tournaments in Africa. Barclays Kenya Open 2012.
Escape to freedom. This is a clean, happy place full of hope, where you can enjoy good health and new beginnings.
You belong to me, and I belong to you.
Welcome to Pwani Life. Natural beer, sugar-free, truly Kenyan.
Make the move to portable TV entertainment with DSTV Mobile. including the latest edition, the amazing Walker handheld TV. It's slim, lightweight, and super affordable. And with the same great DSTV channels as you get with the Drifter for a low monthly subscription, it's sure to fit your pocket in more ways than one. So join the Walker generation and experience the best of DSTV Mobile.
Walker is available at all MultiChoice offices and their agents in Nairobi and Mombasa.
KTN Business Today, in association with CBA.
We can make the most of what we have. CBA, time for more.
Good evening and thank you so much for keeping it KTN. Now a look at business today. Shareholders of Telkom Kenya are set to meet in 3 weeks' time to deliberate on its financial position. According to the management, a 4-point strategy plan to be presented to the shareholders will inform a way forward for the company reported to be in financial distress.
The meeting scheduled for next month will be critical to the network service provider that has been in the news over debt issues. Should the board reject a structuring plan management has presented before it, then shareholders, including the government of Kenya, will be left in a precarious position with very little option other than to pump in billions of shillings to recapitalize the company. The company is currently reviewing funding options available to them, but has ruled out internal sourcing, an indication of just how depleted its books are.
You obviously look at even the business plan, whatever is going to come up with, what are the figures which are coming out, and therefore you need to inform the shareholders about that.
The company, since 2008, we need cash to invest. We need cash to build the company. We need cash to bring services. It is normal to prepare a huge business plan from 2012-2016 because we are not looking for short-term issues.
According to reports published extensively in the media, the board and management were hard-pressed at the press conference to explain the true financial position of the company. Through shareholders, Telkom Kenya owes Orange East Africa 38 billion shillings and the government a further 4 billion shillings, while it is believed to owe the banks an estimated 2 billion shillings. With the Kenyan mobile market getting competitive by the day, the firm's financial tribulation could derail its good form among its competitors. The management, however, insists that they are still in a position to handle their obligations effectively. Michael Karanja for KTN Business Today.
The development of the broadcasting industry is being chalked by skewed allocation of spectrum. An industry study has revealed. The study carried out by audit firm Deloitte East Africa indicated that some frequencies are unused by broadcasters, stifling growth of the market.
Broadcasting is an important facet key in the socio-economic development of the nation, hence the reason for the communications regulator to relook issues around cross-ownership in media houses, spectrum allocations and regulatory framework.
The national deployment of broadcasting signal distribution infrastructure is also expected to reduce the market entry cost, particularly with respect to TV broadcasting.
The regulator has licensed 2 signal distributors to facilitate the uptake of the digital platform, despite freeing up a sizable chunk of spectrum. However, questions abound on their distribution and use.
There is a certain proportion of the allocated frequencies that are currently not on air. And again, as we mentioned earlier, it is important, given the importance of the resource, that the resource is utilized.
Further, the firm is recommending that the CCK review stages of the spectrum currently not on air and allow for a fair redistribution to sector players competitively by allowing all of them to express interest in a free and fair process. Zawadi Mdibo, KTN Business Today.
In more business, listed firm TransCentury has posted a 38% jump in profit for the financial years ended 31st of December 2011. The firm, which was listed by introduction last year, managed to return 10.7 billion shillings, with directors proposing a 25 cents dividend for every share held.
The company says it expects its 3 subsidiaries to post better results next year, thanks to investment in infrastructure projects in the region. In 2011, TransCentury invested $20 million in electric cables and transformers manufacturing business, doubling sales of transformers, as governments across the region and private sector race to make up for decades of underinvestment in the energy sector.
Clearly, the elections will come and go, so there's no real reason to stop you investing as in normal.
Among the sectors the listed firm invested in the East African region include energy, engineering, transport, and beverage processing. Together with its partners in the Rift Valley Railways, the company is planning to invest $287 million in the operations, with the aim of tripling its shares of the cargo business to 15% in the next 2 years and improve the quality of the railway line.
If you look at our overall expansion, we've really expanded significantly, particularly across Eastern and Southern Africa.
The company was releasing its first financial results as a listed firm. It got to the securities market by introduction in 2011. Philip Keitang, KTN Business Today.
Thanks, Philip, for that report. Now, fake fertilizer distributors have been arrested in Nakuru. The distributors were arrested mixing fertilizer with soil before selling to unsuspecting farmers in the area. KTN's Zipporah Karani with the details.
Caught in the act, mixing fertilizer with soil for resale. The warehouse seeming normal with sacks of the purported fertilizer awaiting distribution. The man in charge says he has been managing the business for his mother.
Mimi najua ati alikuwa anachukua napeleka nyumbani kwa shamba. Sasa mambo ya kuuza, unajua hiyo ni biashara yake sana mimi. Na hata kama anauza, hata yeye haoni kama hajui kama ati kuna makosa.
The distributors, however, insist that they have received the mixture from the company supplying them with the fertilizer, a business they have carried out in Dondori area of Subukia for the last 13 years. This model, however, not allowed by law.
Vivi unaona DJ tunaichukua kwa factory. Hakuna ati mchanga tunakuja tunaweka. Factory gani?
Kisha nyeshewa lakini ukipelekewa lab unaambia ni mzuri. Wako na watu wa Egerton College.
While at it, the dubious distributor also makes handsome profits from unsuspecting farmers. The raid came only days after the National Cereals and Produce Board issued alerts of fake fertilizer doing rounds to take advantage of farmers out to purchase the item as the country approaches the planting season. Zipporah Karani, KTN, reporting from Nakuru County.
Now we'll take a look at other business stories making news across the country.
East African Breweries Limited has commissioned a water project to serve residents of Kariobangi and Korogosho settlements. The brewer reckons provision of clean and safe water to communities was key in its business sustainability. The commissioning was graced by, among others, United Nations Development Programme Country Director Inez Chuma and Nairobi City Town Clerk Philip Kisia. Manu Chandaria, amongst others, to mark this year's International World Water Day. The cost of maintenance on buildings is expected to reduce following the introduction of the Teflon paint surface protection technology by paint maker Crown Baja. The Teflon surface protector additive incorporates advanced paint manufacturing technologies, thus enhancing the color quality, making it easy to maintain over long periods. And finally, Unilever has unveiled the Grow With Every Yummy Slice campaign as part of the ongoing Bluebird National Growth Challenge that aims at promoting growth and development in children. In partnership with the Kenya Nutritionist and Dietitians Institute, and targets to reach 400 primary schools across the country. Boni Tunya for KTN Business Today.
And finally, a look at how the Kenya shilling performed today, exchanging with regional currencies as well as international currencies.
KTN Business Today in association with CBA.
We can make the most of what we have. CBA. Time for more.
Je, unapenda na kuelewa vyema kabumbu? Basi chukua mic.
Bonga boli katika ulimwengu wako wa mabingwa Supersport. Kwa maelezo zaidi nenda katika mtandao ufungue supersports.com na huenda ukawa mtangazaji wetu wa mechi zijazo KPL. Bonga boli katika ulimwengu wako wa mabingwa Supersport.
Natural beer, sugar-free, truly Kenyan.
It is indeed KTN Sports Today. I'm Nicholas Mudimba. Kenya's Sevens national team kicked off their Hong Kong Sevens campaign on a wrong foot after 19-7 defeat. Kenya will now seek to redeem its image against England and Argentina.